Welcome to another episode, another week of Case Files
with Kat
and Ashley.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, so good to see ya.
Yeah, it's been so long.
And it is just before our big milestone episode.
Yes, we're coming up on 150 episodes. We have had several people give us stories for the listener episode.
Keep them coming, keep them
yes,
coming.
So we'll talk a little bit more about the break that we're going to take later and what we're going to do when we start season 5. But if you have a story of your own, paranormal, true crime, something you've experienced, send it to us. We want to do a whole episode of listener stories.
Cults,
yes,
serial killers.
Whatever you've done.
If
you are a serial killer.
No, I don't.
You can send us anonymously. We won't tell anyone. I said the word wrong, but you get what I'm saying.
Unanimously. What did you say?
No, I can't even say it. You get the picture.
Anonymously.
Yes. That thing. Anywho.
So you're not drinking because you just came from a happy hour.
I did. Well, I came from a business thing where I also did not drink.
Wow.
It's been a long day. I've had 5 meetings today.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's how I feel. My allergies are kind of acting up, and I don't know. It's just been a long day. So, if I drank, I would be passed out on your floor before you'd find me here in the morning.
There are listeners who are like, same girl, same.
I know.
I do not wish allergies like all of you people have on anybody. Yes. That's terrible. Terrible.
Today is the most day I've been able to breathe, I guess.
Oh, wow.
Since last week, my nose has been all stuffed up. I sounded real pleasant to listen to. Anyways, I'm on lots of medication.
So you're not drinking tonight, but I am.
Yeah.
And I got my St. Arnold's. Hey. St. Arnold's. I got to take it out of my koozie that says I am a cool mom.
You are a cool mom.
Got that for Christmas. It's the Double Down double IPA. Ooh. I know.
I don't see it over there.
It's not. Jason just went to Specs. Hey. So thanks. So
my old employer.
What's your question? We actually have a question of the week this week.
We do. I had to think about what you meant. I forgot we didn't have one.
We didn't. Yeah.
We do have one.
Listen, I had a lot to talk about.
Listen, I don't ever know what's going on with the show. I'm just here. Sometimes I forget I'm even a host on this show. Everything all right over there?
Better now.
There's a good reason we don't video record our episodes.
It's because Ashley doesn't want us to.
Yeah. I don't. But anyways. My question of the week.
I do. So you can see.
Our producer said he would set up. So if he would like to set up, we can maybe do some for season 5.
Okay, we'll think about it.
Now that we have lost everyone, the question of the week is, if you were in a police chase, what song would be blaring in your car during the chase?
So I there's too many. There's too many. I think that the Lose Yourself from 8 Mile, Eminem, that would be one of them. And the Hamilton soundtrack. I mean, just the entire thing. My shot, maybe. Not throwing away my shot. I'm not going to sing. Anyway, but I did find on Forbes that there is actually an article.
I just love that it's on Forbes.
On Forbes, saying 13 songs for a high-speed car chase.
Perfect.
That is the title of the article. So I'm just going to give you a few.
Okay.
Blur Song 2, which is the woohoo. And that's it. That's all you're going to get from me. Judas Priest, Breaking the Law. I like it. Rage Against the Machine. That is a good one. Sleep Now in the Fire. That's such a good one. Ludacris, Move Bitch. And Pantera, Cowboys from Hell. So, I mean, there's just a lot. Motley Crue, Kickstart My Heart. This is a good list. It's a good list.
I love that someone did this list.
If you did not have a song, maybe I just made you think that is what.
If you're planning a police chase, a high-speed chase, first of all, GoPro camera for us. 2, try to wait closer to our 150th episode. And 3, now you have a song list.
Now you have a
whole playlist.
It's the Forbes. But the weirdest song on that list is the Pixies' Wave of Mutilation.
That is a little weird for a car chase.
Yeah, like that's not...
Love it, but that's weird for a car chase.
Yeah, I feel like that's like get stoned and I don't know. It's such a weird, so I don't know. Yeah. If you're like having a nice mosey drive, I guess. I don't know. It's just that's a weird.
For a police chase.
For a police chase. Yeah. High speed car chase. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, those are some good songs, but I can't wait to read everyone's answers at the end. Okay. So what's yours?
So I am so indecisive. I listen to music all the time. I would say either One of Them Days by Jelly Roll, Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit, or Tiptoe Through the Tulips. Just because that song always makes me think of like psychopathic behavior.
You do love that song.
I love that
You
song.
do love that song.
I think I'm the only person that just listens to it to listen to. I love it.
You love that song like I love Hamilton. So, yeah, I can't wait to read everybody's. I did read a couple and they're funny.
Yeah.
So can't wait to see them. But, yeah.
Okay. And plot twist, I also have trivia, which we have. I know. Guys, my story's super short. So
Yeah, she had to come with something.
So I'm just going to read some of my trivia. It has absolutely nothing to do with my story, but I just thought this was like crazy, bizarre facts that I didn't know how many people knew these or ever wanted to know these. But it says you could be trapped in a coma-like state and be aware of it. It's called the locked-in syndrome. The locked-in syndrome might just be the most terrifying thing I've heard of because it's when you're stuck between being asleep and awake, and you know you're awake and you can hear and see things around you. However, you can't talk. You can only move your eyes and you can't respond to anything.
Nope.
Called the locked-in syndrome.
Dude, did you see that story?
No, what story?
There's a story about this family, Lacey Ellen Fletcher, a woman who had locked-in syndrome, was left on the sofa by her parents. Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. For 12 years. When they found her, they finally called the paramedics.
When they found her after 12 years?
After 12 years, she was...
Wow. No, I had
She
not
was
seen.
left on the sofa for 12 years and had basically melted into the sofa, Ashley.
That was totally unplanned.
She was a very young woman. That's her.
I did not realize you could have locked-in syndrome for that long.
Save for her eye movements.
Yeah,
her
that's what it says. Only your
was
eyes
the
can
only.
move.
So they were 65 and 64-year-olds, and they were arrested, obviously. And I saw it on Facebook, just like, holy shit.
Wow.
And like the hole that she was in, and it was filled with urine and feces, and there were bugs like crawling in and out of her body. Like, I don't know how she survived that long there. I don't know if she spent 12 years like that, but she had basically, where she was sitting had basically just deteriorated under her, and it was all so just like exposed innards of the sofa.
So was she like at the parents' house though? Because where else would she be for 12 years? Oh my God, that's fucked up. Oh, people are so fucked up.
And they like had like lives. Kids. They just continued on with their lives.
As someone's rotting on their couch.
I mean,
so the next fact's not much better. A human head remains conscious for around 20 seconds after being decapitated.
Nope. No. I don't want to know that.
When a person dies, their sense of hearing is the last thing to go.
Oh my God.
A body decomposes 4 times faster in water than on land. I think that's kind of common. I don't know if you knew it was 4 times faster, but I think we all know that.
I wouldn't have guessed 4 times. It's so specific. I
don't know. I don't know how they tested that. I'm assuming. I don't know.
Well, I mean, when you're in water, your skin gets thinner and thinner.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if they actually use like a donated body or I don't know. Anyways, there's also a thing as homicidal sleepwalking. It's called homicidal I can't say the word, but the meaning of it is sleepwalking murder. So in 2005, there was actually a person named Jules Lowe who was acquitted of murdering his father because he was sleepwalking during the entire crime and did not remember a single thing about it.
Oh my God, that's
It's
horrible.
an actual documented thing that can happen.
So
sleepwalking murder.
There's a comedian. I don't know. Well, I mean, they could have suffered with it for years. But like Mike Birbiglia, the comedian who sleepwalks so badly, like he could really hurt himself. Yeah. So he has to zip up.
Oh my gosh.
And his wife, zips him up, locks him in, and like, he is locked in for the night so that he can't get up and, drive a car.
So if you know someone that sleepwalks, just be aware that they may murder you in their sleep. The Devil's Bible is actually real. It's a contract that was written between a monk and Satan. Why can I not? I mean, I know I can't pronounce words. I don't know what's going on today. The monk. How do you say monk? I know you're dying to correct me.
The monk.
Okay. There we go. The monk wanted to escape death, so he made a deal with the devil, and it's actually a very cool looking document book looking thing. I looked up pictures of it, but it's called the Devil's Bible. And then this is the last one before I start my story.
It's real? That's real?
I didn't try to check it out or buy it, but there's a lot of pictures on it.
Can you go to the local library and try to
I would like to check out the Devil's Bible. Is it in the kids section? Or
is it in the kids section?
It's like I don't know. The pictures made it seem like it was like super big, like really thick. Yeah.
And what year was that?
God, I'm gonna ask all these hard questions.
Okay, I'm sorry. Then keep going.
I'll look real quick. And so the other fact I had was that the chance someone will die on their birthday is 6.7% higher than any other day. It's like you're more. It says the chance someone will die on their birthday is 6.7%, which is higher than any other day.
Wow. Is that because like everyone's going out and partying on their birthday?
Maybe you're just more kind of reckless on your birthday with your eating and your drinking or whatever, Hey. The Devil's Bible was written in the 13th century in Bohemia, which is now part of the Czech Republic.
Wow.
Codex Gigas was the official name of it. That's what it says, Codex.
All right, I believe you. All right.
Literally meaning the giant book or the Devil's Bible. It was created in the 13th century.
Wow.
So pretty cool looking if you're into reading that kind of stuff.
I wonder if whatever the monk wanted, I wonder if he got it.
He just wanted to escape death. So he made a deal with the devil to escape death. I don't know what the deal was because...
so did he escape it? Did he die?
I doubt it.
Okay,
I think he would still be alive now to tell us about it.
Maybe he is.
Oh, maybe. It weighs 165 pounds. The book weighs 165 pounds. It's 36 inches tall, 8.7 inches thick, and 20 inches wide.
What?
It contains 310 pages made from... VELLUM from 160 donkeys.
What?
It originally contained 320 pages, but at some point 10 pages were removed from the book, so who knows what was on those 10 pages.
It was secret to immortality.
It was meant to be a work of history. That's why it contains the Christian Bible in its entirety, the Jewish War, and an encyclopedia by a gentleman, and then the Chronicle of Bohemia, in addition to a number.
Bohemia,
it says
La Vie Bohème, Bohemia.
Bohemia. It says the Chronicle of Bohemia, written by Cosmos.
Sure.
And in addition to these texts, there are a number of shorter texts included as well, like medical practices, exorcism. The identity of the person who wrote it is unknown, but the scholars believe that the book is the creation of only one person who lived in Bohemia during the first half of the 13th century. There's drawings in it. It took at least 30 years to finish. And then in 1594, it was brought to Prague, where it has been kept since the year 1420. King Rudolph II asked to borrow this Devil's Bible. He promised the monks that he would, when he was finished with the book, he would return it, which he never did, which is how it ended up where it is. And the Devil's Bible was given its name because of the full-size portrait of the devil that is on the cover, and plus, the whole deal with the devil escaping death thing. So yeah.
Wow. So can anybody see it now?
I think you can see pictures and stuff online, but I don't think you can read it. I'm sure there's only 310 pages.
You probably can't touch it, but I'm wondering if they've
it's on display. I mean, they still have it.
I'm just wondering if someone actually went page by page and to make a record of it.
This is not to be confused with the Satanic Bible. This is something totally different. I know, but just for anybody who, this is totally separate. This is called the Devil's Bible. So I just thought that was interesting because it's the largest medieval manuscript. So,
oh my gosh, that is so interesting.
Yeah.
Now I gotta go to Prague. I mean, not because we can put it on the case. I'm not satanic or anything, but I
think it's just fascinating to see something like that.
To have that kind of documentation.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bible in its entirety, all that information, at the time, contemporary notes.
Yeah, I would like to see what they were saying about exorcisms and stuff and medical practices.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And so today is also National Paranormal Day. Tuesday. Not the day you're listening, but the day we're recording. So, even though I love good disappearance stories and we love true crime, murder stories, I decided it's only appropriate if I do a paranormal story. And this was suggested by a friend that listens to the show. So I'm just going to dive in and go with it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so Debby Constantino was born on October 17th, 1962 in New Jersey. She was an EVP expert and paranormal investigator and was married to a man named Mark Constantino. If you don't know what EVP is, it's electronic voice phenomena, and it's capturing spirits' voices on those little boxes, and they listen to it, and that's what their specialty was. They were experts in EVP. They were actually guests on Ghost Adventures many times. They would assist their crew. They were the EVP specialists for Ghost Adventures from 2008 to 2011.
Oh, wow.
And she was featured on another show called The Paranormal Challenge in 2011. But they were very well respected in the paranormal world.
Now I have to go back because I wonder if I've actually seen the episodes they were on.
Yeah, they're on there's on many of the different episodes they're called in. But yeah, so they were very well respected in this regard. Debby and Mark were married in 1989, and Debby had always claimed to have this natural ability to see and feel spirits. She said she could feel vibrations on a level to glimpse into the nature realm. Mark had grown up with a strong belief in the afterlife, but he had said he had never really experienced anything paranormal until he met Debby. And once he met Debby, he started also experiencing spirits and hearing the voices in the EVPs. So
he wasn't like Jason.
No, he had a full belief in the afterlife.
He believed.
Yeah, he just had not experienced it up until he met Debby.
Yeah.
So Ghost Adventures had asked the couple to listen to this recording made in an abandoned prison. They did a tour of it. Debby would listen to the recording and she was just, oh, this is freaking amazing. You can clearly hear a woman saying, I'll kill you. And I bring that up because that abandoned prison is going to play a part later in the story. But so that's one of the episodes she did. They went on this big tour with the Ghost Adventures crew. They went through this haunted place, and she was the only one that could understand what the voice was saying. So that's their background. That's not really why I'm discussing them tonight. I mean, it partially is because I think it's really cool that they were so big into this. But in 2015, Debby and Mark had become estranged, and Debby was living in Reno. Her roommate, one of her roommates, she had two, had come home to find her missing and to find their third roommate, 55-year-old James Anderson, dead in their home. So he had just been shot. Nothing was gone. Nothing was missing except for Debby. And so she immediately reports this to the police. The police trace Debby's cell phone to an apartment who was rented by Debby and Mark's daughter in Sparks, Nevada. So after the police knocked on the apartment door, they reported hearing gunshots inside. And they heard a male voice tell them to keep their distance. The man was later identified as Mark, which is the husband, and the situation quickly escalated. So he told the police, and this is a quote from him, "Give me 15 minutes to gather my thoughts or I will kill her." So during this time, the police learned that the couple had been going through a divorce. Debby had filed a protective order against him. She had gotten the restraining order just 1 week prior to this situation. The two were scheduled to appear in court 3 months later regarding their divorce. So the police are there. The SWAT team's there. They're trying to negotiate with him. At this point, it's been 3 hours. They finally decide to blow the door open with explosives. They had to build like a barricade, get everyone out of the apartment. So it did take them a little bit of time to do so. I don't know why they just didn't kick an apartment door in, but they blew it open. So inside, once they got inside, they found Mark and Debby had both died from a gunshot wound.
It might be because if they had tried to barge in and they didn't get it open right away, he could have shot through the door.
Maybe.
And they could step away.
Yeah, it didn't explain why they did it. They just said it took them so long to get in because they had to do the barricades. They had to evacuate people, and then they exploded, and one of the police officers got injured, but he got injured from blowback from the explosion, not from anything that was happening, because Debby and Mark were already dead when they got inside. Police at the time could not determine why Mark had shot Debby's roommate, other than speculations that Debby and James were actually dating at the time. So the couple, though, they had this huge history of domestic violence. Both of them were guilty of it. Both of them had been arrested for it. The couple had been involved in 10 separate domestic abuse incidences in a 3-year period.
Oh my gosh.
They did not say before that, but they specified in the 3-year period. So that leads me to believe that there may have been, because it said 10 instances just in this 3-year period.
Wow.
So I feel like that means there was more. But Deborah was supposedly acting as the primary aggressor in majority of the incidences, and that was according to the police in their town. In July of 2012, so 3 years prior, Mark called the police saying his wife was intoxicated and that he was afraid that she might stab him. So he called a second time in 2014, again reporting his wife was threatening to stab him. Mark had previously tried to strangle her, and Debby had charges of domestic violence and battery with a deadly weapon after she cut Mark's hand during a very heated dispute about their finances. So they were just always at each other's throats, like behind closed doors. They were always arguing, always fighting. They had been separated, but they were continuing this violence with one another. He would drop the charges against her. She would drop them against him. But, it was just back and forth. In 2014, Debby took out a protective order against Mark and filed for divorce officially. So this is when Debby had moved out. She was living with her roommates in Reno. She later claimed in court documents that Mark and their 23-year-old daughter, Raquel, their daughter, on August 7th in 2015, had gone to a home Debby was at, pulled her out of the car by the neck, dragged her inside where they beat her to the point of breaking her nose, causing bleeding, and strangled her to the point she passed out. He kept texting me, calling me, telling me to come back, Deborah said. Then he said, my dog ran away. She and a friend arrived at her daughter's apartment where they were, supposedly waiting for her to look for the dog. And that's when the father and the daughter attacked. She said that her daughter Raquel, she accused her daughter Raquel of beating her and then beating her friend, like beating the mom's friend. Mark ripped me right out of the car. He dragged me into the house like a rag doll, she said. If the police had not gotten there in time, I absolutely would have been dead. He said, I am the devil and I'm going to slit your throat. Now that's according to Debbie. There were no witnesses to if that's actually what was said, but she was severely beat up. She was bleeding when the police showed up. She was unconscious when they showed up. Both Raquel and Mark were arrested. Mind you, Raquel was their daughter together, not his daughter from another marriage or anything. So Raquel was charged with kidnapping, domestic battery, and vehicle burglary. So Mark was charged with kidnapping, domestic battery by strangulation, and domestic violence. Mark was arrested, but according to court documents, it showed that while kidnapping typically has a no bail there's no bail. Usually you can't bail out for it. The local judge granted him and Raquel bail. So had this not been granted, had the judge not given them bail, he would have been in jail when this incident happened. There would have been no abstinence. This was August, and then she was killed in September.
Oh, wow.
I want to say this was like 3 weeks prior to this. And so they were both, of course, ordered to stay away from Debbie, but does anyone ever stay away from Debbie? No.
Does anyone, when you're told with the protective orders,
hardly ever do anything. So after the couple's death, Ghost Adventures revisited a site that they had gone on with Debbie and them, the prison, I believe it was called I don't know how to say this. It says ho. Washo. Kill me. I don't know. You guys are from Nevada. You know how to say it. It looks like Washo Club. It's Washo. It's exactly what it looks like. Washo Club in Virginia. So I'm sorry, guys. I grew up on a farm. Spent most of my time in a barn. I don't pronounce words correctly. Just if you're just now learning and you're just now listening, this is the first episode. It's a long ride. A place that they had visited.
Oh, I just remember Glenn's reaction to Isle of Wight.
Listen, words should be spelled the way they are pronounced.
White.
Okay, and this is
the same. It's the same.
This was literally spelled washo. So I don't know how you're supposed to say it. WASHOE.
Washo.
Okay. I didn't name it. I don't know how you pronounce it. I didn't look it up. I researched the story today. I knew this was the story I was going to do, but I didn't do the research until today. Even if I looked it up, I look up words and how to pronounce them all the time, and then I still pronounce them wrong. So anyways, blame my parents. Ghost Adventures. They revisited a location that they had been with the couple. While revisiting the investigation with the team in an episode titled The Screaming Room, Zach was moved to tears. The crew believed that Debbie was trying to communicate with them by throwing quarters and communicating through their spirit box. So Ghost Adventures was very close with the couple. I mean, they were on their team from 2008 to 2011. And it wasn't until they were done with the show that all of this domestic violence stuff really started. So a lot of people in the paranormal community were very upset and very surprised by what happened, because on the outward appearance, the couple was always pleasant. They always worked together. They did every show together. It wasn't like she was the only one. Like, they would go as a couple and do these readings and do these shows. And, they had their own website where they would talk about their experiences and you could hire them and stuff. So they for all purposes, seemed really well together, seemed like they were in love and very happy. And if you look at their pictures, they look very happy together. Every picture they're smiling. For the most part, every picture I saw, they just looked like a happy couple. And so it was a very big shock. And so for the Ghost Adventures crew, it was very heartbreaking for them. And so the couple was often described as paranormal rock stars. There was someone named Jadine, who was the founder of the Northern Nevada Ghost Hunters organization. And she went on to say, if you talk to anybody who is coming into the paranormal, who have seen the TV shows, who have researched the paranormal, they'll ask you, do you know the Constantinos? Have you worked with them? Everyone just really respected them in this world. And so since the murder-suicide, the daughter Raquel has posted on social media a few times things like, none of you knew my family or the abuse we lived through. My daddy is in heaven watching out for me and my sister. My mother is burning in hell where she belongs. Whoa. So Raquel has always been against the mother. She has always talked badly about her, and nothing I read did it ever talk about the mother abusing the kids or the father. Like, there's never any abuse mentioned about the kids.
They got to see everything though, and so that's in and of itself abuse, right? I mean,
but to be fair, the father was just as guilty, but for whatever reason, she was on the side of her father. I don't know what happened behind closed doors, right? We don't know what happened. There's probably many stories that will never be told, but for whatever reason, she did not love her mother. She did not care about her mother, and that is your right. If you were mistreated by your family, you don't have to love someone just because they're family, but that was her stance on it. She loved her dad. Her dad did no wrong. Her mother was burning in hell. In 2016, this is the last thing I could find about her, was in 2016, a year after the murder-suicide, she had pled guilty to a battery charge related to previous assaults involving herself, her parents, and her mother's friend. She was ordered to complete anger management and alcohol counseling. The couple did have another daughter who was named Alyssa. She was 24, and I could not find a whole lot on her, but she did make this one post in 2015 when the funeral was about to happen, and she posted saying, "This is going to be a very small service for close friends and family. Unfortunately, some people feel like they were more closely connected to my mom or my dad than the rest of us, so my attempts to politely ask that this information be corrected for their followers has been disrespectfully read and ignored." So information was leaked about the funeral arrangements for the Constantinos and at some point in the week. And so she said, "I can't believe anyone would refuse or ignore a family in this situation in any way. But of course it happened." So Alyssa went on to state that the problem has been very discouraging as she tried every option to fix the leaked information and keep the funeral arrangements for close friends and family only. And that was the last thing that I could find on her. And the last thing I could find on Raquel. So I don't know where they are now at this point in time. I don't know if Raquel, what's happened with Raquel since then. Like I said, the last thing was her arrest in 2016. And then nothing on Alyssa that I could find.
Wow.
And so that was the story of the Constantinos. Wow. Right, to be so loving and like outwardly
on the outside,
to not have any kind of indication
and
that they
usually people do. I mean, when like if you're hanging out with a couple that you're like, I don't think they like each other very much. Well, and my thing is like, how did they never have bruises in public? You don't always leave bruises. I
feel like if you stab someone in the arm, people will be like, "Oh my God, what happened to that gash on your arm?"
Long sleeves.
I guess that's true.
Long sleeves.
It's just, they were so public too, they were always on TV.
How is strangulation not a felony?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, but the fact that kidnapping is a no bail, but not strangling, not strangling someone or pulling them out of a car, but kidnapping
is a no bail thing. Well, I mean,
at that time it may have changed.
It's meant for actual kids, like abductions, I guess. But Yeah,
They lured her to this apartment.
Judicial system,
yeah.
The judicial system does not understand domestic violence and the warning signs of a domestic homicide very well.
And I feel like a part of it was because they both had so many charges against one another.
Exactly.
That they probably felt like this was, just them being them.
Except all of the things that they were doing to one another was like red flag city for a domestic homicide.
Yeah. But, it's like what I'm saying is like I could see the police, especially since know how well so many of them investigate.
Girl.
They probably just assumed it was them being them. Or that's probably how they wrote it off, because literally the local judge just gave him and his daughter the ability to bail out. And I want to say it was only like $40,000. And they were out, and not even a month later, he kidnaps her, kills this other man who may or may not have even been her boyfriend, takes her back to the daughter's apartment, kidnaps her, and then kills them both. And so he never left any kind of like why he did it, other than the divorce situation. She had already moved out. She had already moved on. She lived in another city.
But that's part of it, right?
Yeah,
he no longer has control.
Yeah.
And whatever happened between the two of them, she was trying to move away from that. She
had filed a restraining order against them. She had filed the divorce. She was in another city. And
they had a very unhealthy relationship.
Yes. And they say the daughter probably joined in on that one situation because she was, influenced by the father. Like the father, kind of influenced her based on her feelings for her mother already.
That was just a really unhealthy familial situation. Yeah. She probably should have not been in that house with all of them.
And then the Facebook post was because she was facing serious charges, but she ended up getting a lesser charge for the beating and all of this stuff.
God.
Because she basically took a plea deal for the beating up of the mother's friend. Like she pled to beating up the mother's friend, who was named Summer Myers.
Oh, but not her mother.
Yeah, and then had to take but all she got was the anger management and the alcohol counseling. And so,
that's just horrible. And anger management for domestic violence perpetrators, that doesn't do anything. That's not what they need.
I feel like that would make them more angry.
No, you just do, that's not. There is a batterers prevention program, batterers intervention program, BIP. That is not anger management. That's not what it's doing. It's a totally different kind of thing. Because it's not necessarily just anger. They don't need to manage their anger. There's a lot of other coping skills that need to be taught. And so, it's something to make judges feel good maybe, but that's not, there are other options.
The thing that bothers me so much is the fact they used her poor dog against her.
That happens all the time.
Yeah, when she moved out, she had given them away to friends, but the dog was still part of the family. Yeah. And that's how they got her. They tested her that her dog ran away and lured her, and as soon as she got there, and so unfortunately, it was a very tragic end to a very tragic situation. They never said what happened between 2011 and 2012 to make them, or what started all of the violence. But the one where she stabbed him was because it was over finances. That's the only time it had a documented cause for the fight to begin with. She had been drinking. They were arguing about finances, and she stabbed him in the arm.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good story. Crazy story.
Crazy.
It's crazy because it ties into Ghost Adventures, which we love. And so, that's
paranormal.
All of us. Yeah. It's crazy. It includes all those things.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to read the answers. Okay. I'm going to start. I don't know. I think I'm on my page right now.
Okay.
Jeanette says, "Take the Money and Run." Steve Miller Band. I love that. My friend Chuck says Rehab by Amy Winehouse, which I just love. They try to make me go to rehab. No. Autumn says, is Ice Cube. It was a good day.
Oh, I was thinking Go to Church by Ice Cube.
That's a good one. That's a good one. And Jamie says, Highway to Hell by AC/DC. And then we have Eric says, probably Madonna's Ray of Light, because that song always makes me speed.
Oh, love it.
I love Eric. RC says, Pantera, Cowboys from Hell. Hey, that was on the Forbes list, dude.
Hey.
That was. Lachelle says, Motivation by T.I.
Yeah.
Or Adrenaline by The Roots. Adderline? Adderline. She wrote Adderline. I don't know. It says Adderline, but I read it Adrenaline. I don't know why. And then Jesse says Fist by Fist by Powerwolf. I was like, there's a lot of buys in there. Fist by Powerwolf. Awesome.
And then on
Good
our
answers.
Instagram, Scott says, you've got another thing coming.
Oh.
Janet says, Highway to Hell.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Deanne says, I Can't Drive 55.
I don't know that song.
I don't know either, but it sounds catchy.
Now I gotta
I'm going to look up a couple of these because, you can never be too prepared for a police chase. I got to make my Spotify playlist,
You're like, oh, it's happening. It's happening.
Yes. One moment, officer.
Hold on. I got to pull up my phone. Oh, play it.
I always have Spotify playing in my car, so I would just have to, get the playlist going.
You're like, Siri.
Yeah.
Siri.
So we are going to be taking a 2-week break. We are going to come back with season 5 in our 150th episode. We'll be right around then. And it's going to be a listener episode. So please, any story you have. I know a lot of you have sent us in the past paranormal things that have happened to you, places you've lived, people you knew that had experiences. I'm going to tell some from my childhood. Kat's got a good one she's told before. Just anything like that. It could be a true crime that happened near you, anything like that. We just really think it would be so fun to celebrate everyone who listens to us, because if you guys didn't listen to us, we wouldn't have a podcast. So we are very, very appreciative of all of you. Also, other news, we are removing season 1 from all of our streaming platforms.
Everyone's like, finally.
Because it was from a radio station with local ads. Our episodes were shorter. We will have them somewhere where you can listen to them. I will let everyone know when that happens. We may even just re-record some of those stories because they were such good stories. It's just listening to those episodes are so cringy. And then also our normal plug of you can leave us a voicemail or review on our website, casefiles@catandashley.com. You can also go to catandashley.com. It all goes to the same place. Send us messages, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the things.
I don't think the carrier pigeons come to my house.
Do better. Get better carrier pigeons because we have not received them yet. You can do whatever. We are here for you. If you need help, if you need someone to talk to, if you have beer suggestions, if you want to tell us to fuck off, if you want to tell me how to pronounce words, whatever the case may be.
Is there an app for that?
Maybe. You can leave us a voicemail on our website. So, if you would just want to leave a voicemail with words that I've mispronounced, knock yourself out. Glenn loves to point out the words I say.
Glenn.
Kat loves to point out the words I can't pronounce. Everyone finds my tragedies hilarious. So feel free to join in on the fun. Those are all the plugs that I have. I don't know if you have anything else to add to that.
No, y'all. We just love you. We
love all of you.
All of you.
Yes. We'll be back on May 24th with that's the next time we're recording, so the episode would actually be on the 26th. So we love you guys.
We love you guys.
Yes.
Keep in touch.
Yes.
We'll miss you. We'll see you in a couple weeks. All right. See you later.
Bye.